Take it to the paint. Take it to the rim. You look good on camera, baby. Let's go make a film. I'm a soft top.
And we have to get married in England because in Canada I get arrested, so I have to fly to England to marry her.
I used to be sort of a little bit of a trouble. Well, I don't know. I've had a very colorful life.
I usually don't drink, especially in the morning, but we've run out of drugs. Good thing I learned how to swim. Otherwise, I'd drown in all this kitty.
I'm taking over the world by finding beautiful young women, breeding with them.
Stuart, why did you in a video threaten to kill my family? There's no video of it.
Yeah, if I was anything like you, I would just say something stupid. And people would kill you and your family and your children and your parents. But I'm not like you. But who knows, maybe I might crack one time. I have a problem. Should I use weaponry? Google me and look at the crimes I've committed.
I do talk about what happened. And yes, a little bitch who thought he was a hotshot wannabe cop pulled out a gun and shot someone. And my friend shot.
Durham Regional Police have charged a fifth man in connection with an Oshawa Brinks robbery last December. The robbery ended in the fatal shooting of a Whitby guard.
And he deserved to die because he tried to kill someone. So I do have not any empathy for the little loser. Or any other pig. And although I don't want anybody to kill police, as I said before, I certainly won't disrespect you if you do it.
We're taking over the world, bitches. Try us.
So I'm going to be talking about somebody that I feel like hasn't been talked about enough. Tremendously weird guy.
His name is Stuart Rosenthal, but he goes by Newclownorder.
He gained popularity through TikTok because of his unique personality.
I'm sort of having a New Year's Eve party. Only fans can come, but you can see it on OnlyFans. I'm toxic. Respect.
Stop clowning around, or they'll laugh.
This is real. Really real. Yeah!
You only call me when you're drunk and horny. How come you haven't called me lately? You must have given up drinking.
If the bitch hello basic, then that bitch gotta go. What's that in my cup? That's the potion. I gotta go. Love y'all.
He likes recording himself dancing to TikTok music. He's very creepy when he talks about women, and he's very tweaky. He's legit jittery all the time. Like he can't stop moving for a second.
Maybe I'll come out as an alien.
His TikTok has 500,000 followers. His main TikTok and Instagram page have been taken down as well. And his most popular video would be this one of him making completely creepy faces. Him trying to spit game, you know. And my personal favorite video.
Of course I respect the ops. Why else would I piss on their graves? Make sure the flowers grow.
But maybe you need more clips, right? Like, just look how weird this guy is.
Of course not. Never. And don't ever say I did. They call me the Pussy King. I guess that's a fair thing to call me. Yeah.
So, okay, he could be just a really weird guy, right? Someone had to ask the question of the century. What drugs do you use?
None really. I mean, well, I do shrooms, but I do it on a daily basis, so they have no psychoactive effects, but they make me really healthy and strong. Well, I eat weed, and I sometimes, quite often will have a beer because I'm trying to gain weight. You know, I used to do heroin. I used to do K. I used to do everything.
Yeah!
No, I don't do drugs. Only the ones I take every day. So there you go, right? He's a local. He has a bit of fun, you know? What more could there possibly be about this guy? Well, a couple of years ago, 2 people contacted Stuart asking if they could film him for a documentary they're making about him. With thousands of followers flooding the comments section with interactions, it was enough said that people wanted to know about Stuart's story. The documentary releases in 2021, finally giving us insight to who Stuart really is. The documentary was made by a channel named MatPack. It was a really good documentary. It was very well made, and it did a phenomenal job at highlighting just how weird Stuart is.
Who is Stu? Well, to start, He is a now 62-year-old former criminal lawyer living in Toronto. He is currently divorced and is living in a hotel. He was just visibly intoxicated, either at his hotel or some fancy restaurant. Seriously, like 95% of his videos are just him vibing out in his hotel. And so I started digging, and the first little insight into his life that I found was the GoFundMe that he linked to in some of his accounts, which was titled SOS Save Our Stu. Some questions started to pop up. Like, okay, if he doesn't have any money, like he keeps saying he doesn't, how is he affording to live in this hotel and eat out at these fancy restaurants every day? What is he smoking? Just what's up with this guy, right?
And just out of respect to their hard work, I'm not going to go in full detail about every little thing about the documentary. So please check it out if you're really curious about Stuart. I'm just going to tell you everything you need to know about Stuart. Upon Stuart's first interaction with the two filmmakers, he's already very odd. But you could also see that he's very open.
I think the world is in for like major turmoil. Like unless someone like it's so divisive and hate-filled. Like everybody's like divide and conquer, and people are like just insane. People say you have to become the world leader. You have to take over.
Newclownorder.
You know what? But it would be easy to do. I think that. Well, except now, I think if I went to Israel, there's 65 parties.
Wow.
Right. So anybody can get a seat if you organize properly. Right. It's not that hard to win a seat. You only need one seat with 65 parties. You can build a coalition. And I think I'm so good at doing that. I could build a coalition. Go ahead with maybe the biggest nuclear artists in all the world. I can just say, fuck it. Peacetime. They banned TikTok in China.
Yeah, they did.
They don't allow it.
He told us he didn't get much sleep the previous night, and even then I think 96% of the time he was doing all the talking.
It's weird that I don't understand why that one account like blasted, whereas I put the same thing on the other accounts. They don't. They all have the same, and then that one just took off for some reason.
Yeah.
But that one was like 75% female, and my other one's like 54% female, which is still high because internet users is 75%.
Yeah.
Social media users is 75% men. Right.
We skip to their second day meeting each other, and they arrange an interview for Stuart. Before the questions even start, it's revealed that he doesn't just take shrooms, he does DMT. Apparently he has a guy that can synthesize it in a little pen, and he chiefs it, dude. Like he hits it harder than any 2013 Vape Nation enthusiast.
Then he took us up to his room and showed us all the drugs that he has.
I have shrooms. Like I don't do shrooms. They taste terrible, but people send them to me for free. So I have
Room for free.
people send them to me.
Bro, let me tell you, he was fighting demons trying to hold on.
He took a pen rip right before we started the interview, and let me just show you the first question I asked him and his response.
So let's just start with why did you first start making TikToks?
Just to have fun. I believe I have a story that's like incredible. To record my life and legacy for aliens. Aliens, if you're up there.
You think aliens have TikTok?
I shouldn't do it because who knows what it means in sign language. He just told us the meaning of life. What if it does mean something?
Like he's talking, but you could see that he's not there. Yeah! After his trip fades out a bit, he becomes ready to answer questions. It's revealed that Stuart had a brother who took his own life when they were young. I want to say it was in their 20s when he passed away. I think that's how young they were. And because of that, it led to Stuart doing drugs. It was very difficult to cope with, which is actually insane.
At the time, I believed he did it because I had succeeded, and so I just couldn't take it. So I numbed myself, and I used heroin, which was the perfect way to numb yourself.
What I find interesting though is he was a lawyer. He achieved a doctorate in law school without having to actually participate in most of the classes apparently. He claims he would pass their exams without needing their courses. Stuart isn't employed anymore. He doesn't practice in law anymore and claims he never even wanted to do it to begin with. But it's revealed that his license was revoked. After that, it seems like he remained unemployed. The documentary mentions that Stuart never bothered to get a job afterwards, that he was maintained and funded through his connections. So then how did he lose his job? How did he lose his license? Well, that's when things get a lot more interesting. There's 2 cases where Stuart is a part of, and very open to talk about, in which involved organized crime.
During his tenure serving the court system, he created many connections within the organized crime world of Toronto. Connections which still benefit him to this day.
Yup, Stuart was associating with the criminal organization in Toronto. What world do we live in where this man can be a part of anything criminal? Canada, this is what your organized criminals look like? Canada, this yo mans? The first case we're going to be talking about was when Stuart was a part of a high-profile crime. The crime involved 4 men hijacking a Brinks truck. They had killed the Brinks truck guard.
3 men were charged with first-degree murder in the death of Brinks guard Rick Bridgman at the Oshawa Nob Hill Farms terminal. A 4th man is charged with robbery. Durham Regional Police have charged a 5th man in connection with an Oshawa Brinks robbery last December. The robbery ended in the fatal shooting of a Whitby guard.
Well, what does Stuart have to do with this? It's revealed that Stuart supplied those men with the getaway vehicles, therefore assisting in the heist, right? Keep in mind, he was still a lawyer when this was going down. And because of a couple of mistakes, all men who were a part of the heist, including Stuart, were arrested.
At the time, I was a heroin addict. A friend of mine and I were in this heroin business. His friends decided to do a Brinks robbery. I had access to a Porsche dealership. So they used vehicles from that lot. And I was charged with assisting. But I was acquitted.
So basically, Stuart assisted a heist to end up not getting the money, and an innocent man was killed for no reason. And I kind of hate his reaction when he talks about that crime. He always feels like a badass that he was a part of it.
I used to be sort of a little bit of a trouble. Well, I don't know. When I've had a very colorful life, right? So, when I was young, I got charged with some pretty serious things, like a Brinks robbery, Brinks truck.
In the documentary, he even kind of laughs about it. Not about the guy, right? But he still doesn't take the crime seriously.
Then I get to the court and the cop hands me a paper bag and says, "Put it over your head, put it over your head." And so I take it. And as soon as I get out of the car, where the reporters are, I take it down and cover my hands so it looks like I'm not handcuffed. Instead, I look like a perp. And I'm walking, and he's so pissed off, and he walked right into the wall just as that picture's taken. Well, I walked him into the wall. Which shows that even when I'm at my worst point, I still got it under control, bitches. Really?
Like, dude, an innocent man still passed away because of this. So the second case is a little bit more interesting, and it's a lot more complicated. But to summarize, Stuart had a friend who was a bounty hunter, hitman, and a drug dealer. Basically the worst kind of person, right? He shot a man 7 times, but the case was declared self-defense. Went to prison a few more times for other reasons, but when he got out, he still ended up becoming a drug dealer, right? Once becoming a drug dealer, he was arrested for a narcotics conspiracy. Okay, cool. What does this have to do with Stuart? Well, when Stuart's drug dealer friend was arrested, it was actually hands down like damn near impossible to get him out of that situation, right? 25 to life guarantee, like he's going to prison. There's no way out of this. Well, since Stuart was a part of the organized crime in Toronto, apparently the syndicate of the organization had paid him to basically get him scot-free. And it's very much implied in the documentary, right? Because if you take a look into his case, it does mention that the charges were dropped instantly. No sentence, no nothing, just fully acquitted. So basically, Stuart, as a lawyer, was protecting a psycho drug-dealing murderer.
I was in contact with him fairly regularly, who was doing life because he killed a cop. And so he said, "This is kid getting out of jail. He's a troubled kid, but he's a decent guy. Can you help him out?" Got sentenced to like 15 or 20 years for a pretty big coke conspiracy. The cop killer guy asked me to help him. And he came to Toronto, and I sort of helped him set up a jewelry business.
Under some mysterious circumstances, all charges were dropped against Scarpino, and he was allowed to walk free.
And it's crazy because even though Stuart helped him out and getting away with these crimes, Stuart's friend still ended up doing the same thing. He was still dealing. And because he couldn't leave the life, it ended up with him getting assassinated, which seemed to have affected Stuart a lot too. Interestingly enough, before Stuart's friend died, he had purchased $6 million worth of gold from a jewelry company that Stuart co-owned. found. But since he died, the gold went missing. So a bunch of investors for the jewelry company had a lot of complaints towards Stuart, which then led to a trial. And the trial exposed Stuart for terrible bookkeeping, a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo, which then led to Stuart's license being revoked.
And one of the things he did was he bought $6 or $8 million worth of gold, and the gold was missing after he died. And the people who invested with him filed complaints against me because I sold them gold, unrelated to my law practice. A legitimate licensed company sold him legitimate gold. It was picked up from the Scotia Bank by Brinks. It was delivered to him in Vancouver. He signed for it, but it went missing, and they all filed complaints and a lot of shit.
The documentary also briefly mentions that Stuart's license was revoked because of professional misconduct, but doesn't really explain anything he could have done. So that was crazy. He was a lawyer, a corrupt one. He was a part of a high-profile crime. Like, that's insane. So that was what I felt was the most interesting parts of the documentary. There's a lot of weird interactions with Stuart. It's just more of the weird content that the Newclownorder fans are into. Stuff that he posts on the usual anyway. Nothing much is known about Stuart's life. The only thing we really do know about him is the fact that his brother passed away. We also know that he's rich, or at least comes from a very wealthy family. The only thing he's really more open to talk about is his criminal endeavors. So where is he? What's he doing? He's still a creep. He's still on every psychedelic in the world. To be honest, he got weirder ever since the documentary dropped. Apparently, as the film was being edited, he had this weird phase where he would wear women's lingerie around his neck, and he would claim that it would be a protest against the vaccination requirements, since, you know, COVID at the time. He's definitely gotten a lot more aggressive with his trolls.
No, little Ricky. My mother is quite proud of me. She might not like my choices, but she's proud that I'm brilliant and successful in many, many areas. Again, she was not the one. Your mother, the town Michigana, was the one who called their son Little Ricky the moron and the sissy. And yes, that's a horrible thing for a mother to say. But look at what you did to your own daughter. I've just confirmed that Slick Rick the loser, Little Ricky the sap, Little Ricky with a little dicky, is in fact in the hospital. The gerbil isn't doing as well. Poor little Ricky with a little dicky. His wife is very hyper. He stuck things up his bum, and now he wears a diaper.
Stuart is still unemployed. Apparently, he's still actually being maintained and funded by his connections that he claims to have. But some people speculate that it's just his parents. Maybe it's his dad who's giving him all that money. Not only that, but he's made fun of because he lives in a hotel room. So I also wanted to talk about how open he is about his criminal past and how it's very problematic. And I know I had just talked about these two cases, but I only talked about them just to show you what he's done. But whenever he talks about it, it almost seems like he's glorifying the things he's done.
Honestly, look at me. I've done a lot of horrible shit. Pretty disgusting shit too. But I own it, so like, whatever. Whatever. You get?
That little dweeb can Google me and look at the crimes I've committed, assuming I've done nothing else.
All these stories, the jokes, the songs, the dancing, they're just the prequel. Wait till you hear the story.
For example, the Brinks truck heist. You know, the heist that he provided the getaway vehicles with? Well, it turns out Richard Malcolm Bridgman was also a cop doing his job, protecting the money he is paid to protect. In one of Stuart's lives, someone expressed that it's kind of cowardice of Stuart to defend the man that killed the guard. This is what he has to say.
Excuse me, little beach. With respect, I do not deny or anything. I do talk about what happened. And yes, a little bitch who thought he was a hotshot wannabe cop pulled out a gun and shot someone. And my friend shot him. And he deserved to die because he tried to kill someone. So I do have not any empathy for the little loser or any other pig. And although I don't want anybody to kill, please, as I said before, I certainly won't disrespect you if you do it, because they're scum. With respect.
I'm just gonna refute every single thing he just said. His defense is that the guard pulled out a gun on his friend. Therefore, that justifies his friend murdering the guard.
So in other words, these bums shot the guard for doing his job.
Stuart is mad at the cop for literally defending himself, even though Stuart and his friends started the robbery. And he wasn't a hotshot wannabe cop. He was an actual cop.
I like how contradicting Stuart's logic is. Every cop is a pig in his eyes, even though he was a corrupt lawyer.
But okay, if the guard deserved it, then what about the 60-year-old bystander who was also shot in the incident? So he's basically saying here that his friend, aka the person who killed the guard, is a better person than the innocent man they murdered. He genuinely has a soft spot for criminals, and that's insane. Another example would be his drug dealer friend that I mentioned, the second case. His friend was a legit hitman and a drug dealer. He was apparently known locally for being a violent man, and this is the criminal that Stuart saved and protected. Whenever his friend died, Stuart was completely distraught. He even said that it reminded him of his brother.
I was really in trauma after he died because I felt responsible because he said I was supposed to help him, I was supposed to protect him, and things were going well. It really bothered me, and it brought back memories of my brother dying, like another loss of like as I consider him a little brother.
But look at the way he talks about that guard. I mean, it's kind of weird. I cannot express enough to you that the man was innocent. And this is the way Stuart disrespected him. But he cries for this known criminal that couldn't get his life straightened out. I have a problem with this mentality where, look at me, I'm a big bad guy who used to commit crimes back in the day, but yet sympathize for me while I mourn for this psychotic murderer. Stuart was a real life Saul Goodman when you think about it. And he sees that. After the film was dropped, a lot of people wanted to interview Stuart. And when he's a part of those interviews, he's very excited to talk about his criminal endeavors. In his most recent interview, he talked about the Brinks truck heist, and of course, he looked very happy about it.
How did the robbery go down?
The robbery went down is they went 1 week, and the Brinks truck comes in the wrong way, and so they had walkie-talkies, didn't have cell phones, and they go red or whatever the code word to cancel it was. They go back the next day. Again, it's, the car is in the right place, so they go to cancel it, but guy's wearing a trench coat. It goes like it's red. The guard sees like a shotgun or a gun.
Yeah.
He shoots him.
The guard shoots
the guy because he sees he has a gun.
Right.
He's about to shoot him again, and the guy who I knew shot the guard who was about to shoot his friend. It was an elephant slug in a shotgun. Even though the guy had a vest, stopped his heart. He died instantly.
And they didn't rob the truck, or were they still?
They got one bag from they got the bag.
Because the guy already, the guy had
$185,000. The other guy grabbed the bag. They got in the cars. They got away.
Are you charged in relation to that case or no?
I was charged. Yeah, I was charged with the conspiracy to commit armed robbery and obstruct police.
And it's weird because he's not really condoning it, right? Like, he's not exactly telling anybody to do it. But it's clear to see that he wants to be known for what he's done. I mean, if you take a look into his TikTok, he wants to claim his relevance back by making a new documentary. He managed to find a team of people and they're making a new film about Stuart. And from the looks of it, it seems like they're gonna be going over into detail about other things he's done in his past. That or rehashing the things I just talked to you about. But even then, that's still weird. Why would you want to be known as somebody who assisted a heist? That's not even badass. That's just bummy behavior, especially from a lawyer. He has this tendency to say that he had a very colorful life. A very strange, random, eventful, terrible life. But if his terrible life only consists of crimes that he committed, why sympathize for him? Why not conclude this video with possibly the creepiest aspect of Stuart? The way he is with women. Whenever he spits game, it's always super creepy. He also does what every level 100 weirdo would do, where whenever he sees an attractive woman on the internet, he makes a post where he puts a picture of that woman and puts himself dancing to whatever TikTok music he finds. Just schizo behavior, basically. And weirdly enough, you will catch a lot of women commenting very flirtatious things to him. And I pray to whatever is out there that these women aren't actually crazy enough to be attracted to this man.
Sweetheart, what are you gonna give Daddy for Father's Day? Michelle, my other daughter, my other adopted daughter, is round for me. We could have dinner or something, but no. Like, I'm a decent person, but I love women.
Within the editing process of Stuart's documentary, apparently Stuart had met a woman through his TikTok. In my opinion, he was the most creepy to this girl than any other girl possible.
You're so fucking precious when you smile. Got a vibe. Steph, are you coming for a ride? Morning, Steph, if you want a ride. I'm the one, yo. With Stephanie, there's nothing I can't do. She's as evil as I am.
Okay, Stephanie, this is my final offer. If you get here before midnight, I'll marry you today. And let's show the world our crazy delusion is pretty fucking chill. And if you don't dig that, just go fuck yourself. Not you, Stephanie. The rest of the world. I love you. I love you.
Not much is known about his relationship between him and Stephanie, but what is known is that Stuart was madly in love with her. And you'd think that this girl would be completely creeped out at just the sight of him, right? But no, apparently she was really interested in him. They were even planning on getting married. They legitimately had a date for their wedding. But then mysteriously, suddenly, they just stopped talking to each other. And nobody knows why. But you know, with those creepy clips that I just showed you, I just hope nothing bad happened to this woman.
And women squirt, so like, what am I doing so wrong?
So there was this one instance with another woman who's gonna go by Clambo. Clambo was a woman who Stuart was in contact with to basically express their artistic interests with one another. Even though these two had just known each other for a couple of days, by text, Stuart was way too comfortable, way too fast.
It would be the most incredible thing to save me. Do you realize how good your art is and how much it will sell and how it will catapult me to the next level? Because of our pasts and our charisma, we could take over like any church or religious organization. They would just love us.
Time flies and Stuart meets another woman whom he apparently got closer to, so he ended up just not talking to Clambo at all. That same creepy manic behavior he does with all women, he stopped doing that with Clambo all of a sudden. What people started finding problematic about this incident was the fact that Clambo started making accusations towards Stuart, claiming that the new girl Stuart fell for was younger than herself, without exactly giving us an age of that woman. Stuart would say the new girl was 1 year older than Clambo, while Clambo argues he's lying about it. Because of Stuart going from obsessed to straight up ghosting her, it led to Clambo believing Stuart grooms women. Stuart actually responded to this incident.
I date someone who's a year older than her. I'm old and these people are young. They're like 20, in their late 20s, right? Which is pretty creepy, I think, in a way. But if someone's 26 or 28 or 30 and they want to hang out with an old man, that's their choice. I never met this woman. I spoke to her a number of times. She asked me to do a film online, like a Zoom call. And now, because I went out for dinner and had some drinks with a woman who came to visit me in Toronto, she's like freaking out, opening up hundreds of accounts and like fucking hating on me and saying like, what the fuck? And she ever met me? Like total obsession. And then putting up stuff, putting up things, trying to get my account taken down, saying, Stuart, why did you in a video threaten to kill my family? There's no video of it. I don't give a fuck if she lives or dies. I mean, I hope she's okay. But wow, are all Australians that weird?
I'm back again, and I didn't really want to come back and do another like voice statement or any kind of content regarding Stu and I, but this was sent to me and I'm just cringing, bro. Like, when I first stumbled across his live, he gave me his Instagram details and told me to reach out to him. Why is he acknowledging that he thinks it's creepy that he's dating women in their 20s? Ruh. So his narrative of me being like obsessed with him and jealous of the new women is completely untrue and really gross and embarrassing. Like, that's embarrassing for him. I think it's so strange that he's bringing up him threatening to kill my family to a complete stranger. But anyway, he did threaten to kill my family, and I'll drop the video right now.
Yeah, if I was anything like you, I would just say something stupid. And people would kill you and your family and your children and your parents. But I'm not like you. But who knows, maybe I might crack one time.
You might think I'm crazy for thinking that video is directed at me, but pretty much all of the violent or hateful videos he's put out lately have been directed either at me and the other people that are posting videos, or it's like just teenagers that are picking on him. So he's either trying to threaten me and the people calling him out, or he's trying to threaten some just like goofy teenagers. And he didn't tag anyone, so I don't know, it's very open-ended. He also mentioned something about ruining my career. I'll drop that right now. But like, he's not capable of that, and everyone knows I have a good reputation, and I'm good at what I do. There's been about 6 women who have come forward so far, telling me the exact same thing. Like, once a woman turns on him or tries to call him out, he'll like block them and say, oh, you know, they're obsessed with me and they're in love with me, and they, you know, I had to block them so they would stay away from me. And it's like, that is like so far from the truth.
I'm not gonna be here to say that a certain comment or a few text messages proves everything this person is claiming, but I will say he handled that very weird. That is a very not normal thing to say, but I think Stuart only says stupid things like that to keep his image of being a glorified criminal. Nonetheless, Stuart claimed that Clambo was the one who originally contacted him, but in reality it was Stuart who reached out to her first. It's behavior like this that makes a lot of people think that Stuart grooms women, but we really can't find a completely solid bit of evidence of such a thing. We only have comments and text messages, and in the world of the internet that doesn't really count as much, but there is footage of women looking immensely uncomfortable when they're around Stuart.
Yeah, she is.
Only if I can take a selfie with you.
Sure, sweetheart. Okay.
Only if I can take a selfie with you first.
Dance with me, dance with me, dance with me. Hey, hey. I forget the rest of the words.
Whatever, you don't need to remember them anyway. You look great.
A very noticeable trait of Stuart is his psychopathic behavior towards women, but I found a video of him that is a very big red flag. Apparently he was in a live and he was just talking to whoever joins into the live. A girl joins who looks dangerously under 18, and Stuart makes a couple of out-of-pocket jokes to this girl.
And we have to get married in England because in Canada I get arrested, so I have to fly to England to marry her.
Mm. Right. Life is like.
I'm only doing it for the good of humanity.
Oh yeah, because I'm just so.
And she's gonna take fertility pills, so we'll have at least quints. So if she gets to keep 1, I get 4 for the army.
The fact that people don't understand that this is a joke, because I don't want children.
She said, I get all the children then. She's taking fertility pills. She got 5 kids. I get them for the army. You don't want any of them? That's fine.
I don't want them taken.
Okay, you all fine.
Sorry.
I'm taking over the world by finding beautiful young women, breeding with them. I'm going to find an island in the Caribbean somewhere.
Stop.
By the time I have like 50, 100,000 of these kids, we're taking over the world, bitches. Try us.
I saw people in the comments stating that she was 15, so I hope that's not the case. And I also saw people saying that he was joking. How, like, why would you make jokes like this to a girl who's possibly a minor? I found this TikTok page called Stop Enabling Clowns, and this guy has been doing his research on Stuart, which is of course where I got these clips from too, right? And this page, along with a couple of people, have noticed that there is a video on Stuart's main TikTok account where he's dancing with minors. Others are coming out saying that these minors would even go as far as calling him dad.
And the worst of it all is that during some phone calls, he did admit to minors sending him explicit images, and that his Snapchat is public. Even after having all of those people send images and stuff, I said, why don't you block them? He goes, oh, I don't want to block them because I like people getting in touch with me. So he refuses to block minors, even though they are literally providing him with CP.
So I guess it's up to you to decide if these things are true or not. This is pretty much everything that I could find about Stuart. I've always seen Stuart in my feed every now and then. I first encountered his profile in 2020, but I really was not ready to find out all of these things about him. The crimes he was a part of are undeniably true, right? But as far as his grooming allegations and all the other not so pleasant things we talked about, it's kind of hard to deny what people are saying about Stuart. You know, on one hand, anybody can make up messages and comments, but in this case, why would they? But like I said, it's up to you to decide. In my opinion, it's still very weird that Stuart wants to be famous for his criminal past. I think he noticed that's the current trend with influencers nowadays, where degeneracy and incarceration grants you monetization. And that's what confuses me about Stuart, because he wants us to feel bad for his terrible, awful life that he experienced, while at the same time praising him for unnecessarily hurting people. people. He goes off on this kumbaya speech about how everyone has something to learn from him. In other words, he thinks he's him. You're not him. But now learning more about him, everything he does now makes me question him. Hopefully more will be revealed about him in the future. But all of this that I've shown you, this is not looking good, dude.